In the area of social media, it seems to me that it's influencing markets in the US quite a lot. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's an interesting space, Greg. A few years ago, we spoke about how social media, like the analysts were looking at social media as forward-looking sort of tools to see where share prices might be going, and they were starting to monitor them in a much bigger way. And that area has gone a bit quiet, but certainly the technology hasn't. It's developed significantly. What's going on at the moment, it's an interesting sort of cross-section, just like tech does. It's sort of working through a little bit of a loophole. So if a large fund manager decided to go and buy a smallish company, they could easily push up the share price, put a load of money behind it, and the regulators would be coming out pretty quickly to slap some handcuffs on them and saying, hey, look, you're manipulating the market, and rightly so. What the social media platforms are able to do is sort of whip investors into a frenzy. And with that as well, there used to be a trading technique called the turtle trade, where everyone steps at the same time. And in reality, that's what's sort of taking place as well, where they're able to collaborate together and effectively push up a stock. So we're seeing, companies that have questionable sort of fundamentals. So during COVID, Hertz went bankrupt, but their share price went through the roof. So much so that they said, "Oh, we're worth a hell of a lot more now. Let's raise some money, and we don't need to be bankrupt." And the regulator sort of stepped in and said, "Hang on a minute. People are buying this stuff and not really knowing what they're buying, but they're getting whipped up into a frenzy and doing this momentum trade." And we're sort of seeing that build and build, and it's been really big in the last few days. The realities is the market share of the retail investors are still pretty small. And if you think that you're smarter than these, institutional traders, they've been working on this for years in the social media space. We've talked about it a number of times of some of the platforms that are out there. We've been using them. We have them accessible. And it's something that don't think they're not trying to take advantage of it as well too. I think what we're going to find though is the regulators will start to sort of clamp down on this more and more. And it's just because, unfortunately, people are going to get their fingers burnt. Like any form of speculation, it's you're not looking at that fundamentals, and it's that issue around you're not aware of what the fundamentals. So you're paying 2, 3, 5, 10 times more than you should, just because the share price is going up doesn't necessarily mean the company's worth what it should be. And I think partly as well, it's whether it's these shares or whether it's crypto or whether it's commodities like gold or silver, it comes back to that, I guess, that ability to value it. And if you are buying something and you're looking at these valuations and going, I don't have a model that I can put in here to give me a fair value, so I can't apply a discount cash flow to say whether I'm paying too much or too little, or I can't economically sort of quantify this, it's likely it's no different to buying popsicle sticks and expecting them to go up in value. It's just you need a certain number of people to think they're valuable, and that sort of psyche that goes around it. And certainly some of these assets with this early side of speculation is sort of picking up along a lot of those thematical trades. But the traders are smart. So, it's a very humbling area, and I think people will be humbled very quickly.
The advice provided on this program is general advice only. It has been prepared without taking into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. So before acting on this advice, you should consider the appropriateness of the advice and consult a finance professional. If any products are detailed on this program, you should obtain a product disclosure statement relating to the products and consider its contents before making any decisions. Where quoted, past performance is not indicative of future performance.